Hey everybody, and welcome back to Little Bits of Awesome. We are so happy that you're here. That over there is my sister, Emily. She's freaking awesome.
That's it. Normally you like to break down all the physical attributes.
Yeah, we're just going for it
and
today.
that is Cass Martin over there. And let me tell you something. She wore a business suit today to work. That just made us all intimidated. We didn't know what kind of deal she was going to try to pull over on any of us.
If I show up in a blazer, I'm ready to make a deal.
But she took it off for the pod, so that means she's just here to chill and chit-chat and get to know
I'm so mad you took it off.
I know.
Because
we thought
I was going to use this as a point to my wife of
it's coming back.
Hey, even Cass, when she is super hot
in
the pod box, doesn't take off her jacket because it's part of her outfit.
Exactly.
So don't ask me to take off my sweatshirt.
Everybody knows.
Okay, so let me tell you something.
Because you have committed to the outfit, and the sweatshirt
Most likely it's matching my shoes.
Oh, I know it is, like today. It's nice. It's like not too matchy-matchy, which is just where you want to be.
I appreciate that.
You know, you nailed it.
I really want your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
These are actually women's shoes.
Really?
I feel like I've seen them on Nike.com. I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah, they are the coconut milk Jordan 1 lows.
Stop.
Shout out.
Coconut milk?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
That sounds yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds so yummy, 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 yummy.
That's a great segue into the fact
yummy.
that Pigeon went to Justin Bieber last night, which we are very jealous. We thought as part of Pod Box Buddies that we would have got invited, but apparently we're not to that level yet.
You're like
almost there.
5 and 6 on my women in my life that are that important.
That's okay. He went with his wife and his mom, which should definitely be 1 and 2. But you know,
I got 2 daughters. So
that's true.
4.
But they can't go to that concert yet.
You know what? She lives in Minnesota.
She's a little too far away, but
you don't get the invite.
So
shoot, I know.
7.
Oh, until she gets a little bit closer.
She'll probably
one of these days you'll fly her out. I know you will.
So, you know, we're super happy to be here in the pod box today. I threw my blazer back on, so please watch the YouTube version of this. And don't be just a listener.
Take it all in. Take it all in.
Be a listener and a watcher.
Yeah, well, we need to clarify that because some people may not know it. So you can find us on any podcast network, and you can find us on YouTube. So here's what you do. You listen to us on any podcast network.
Right.
That's true.
And then the next day you want a little more, and then you go over to YouTube, and then you watch it again. And it's just like an extra bonus to your day and your life and everything.
It's like a whole new experience.
It is.
It is. And it's really, I don't have to get ready for many things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do get ready for the pod box.
We do.
I put on a blazer.
Get ready for Zumba.
It's a whole different thing because your hair's up in the ponytail. You're wearing your fitness wear. You know you're going to sweat everything off. So it's a different level of getting ready.
You know what I do not get ready for, though, is coaching.
Yeah.
I go straight. Like, they see me. I wake up, I work out, and they see me. Of course, now, that being said, I have my brows tattooed.
Mm-hmm.
I have lash extensions. And I even have my lips blushed. So I'm as phony baloney as you can.
Fake as all get out. No, these are just little enhancements. It's not like you're painting on eyebrows that aren't there. You just have a little extra depth to them.
Which reminds me, last night, there's a really cool new brow thing that I've been using. And I've been trying to get Bridget to do it because she's like, we got to get my brows done. We got to get my brows done.
Yeah.
And she did them last night herself.
Okay, what is it?
It's like this, it's just like a brow, it's like.
The stencil thing?
No. It's just called like a brow tattoo, but it's this thing that you kind of paint on and then you just peel it off.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, so it leaves like pigment or ink type thing
it's
in the shape of the brow that you want.
It's really cool.
Must not last that long. Like
but
a
if you had to do that every 2 weeks, it takes a half hour. You do it on a Sunday night.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We're gonna do that's awesome.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm going to go first because I'm going to go on the same trend of Bridget.
Okay.
Now, I spent many years traveling for work. If you must know, I've traveled the world.
If you must know.
Did you know this, Paige? I've done work in over 60 different countries.
I didn't know the amount, but that's really cool.
Isn't that
cool? Amazing?
It really actually shocks me because I'm quite a homebody, and I didn't even have a passport, and I had to get over a lot of fears. I remember...
You didn't have one until you got one, or otherwise you wouldn't have been able to visit 60 countries.
Have you ever done one of those, like, Facebook things where it's like, how many states have you been to, or, like, whatever, where you, like, start going through it, and you're like, oh, I've actually been to, like, 36 states. I didn't even know that.
Really?
Like,
no. Is it like a quiz?
That, but with, like, it's just like a little map, and you're like...
Yeah, I'll tell you
I'll be underwhelmed if I tried to play that game. I'm not going there.
There's a lot of places in the nation that I haven't been, and that's something that I've thought about. Like, there's some really cool places that we haven't been. We should take advantage of that because it's a lot cheaper. But Brian, one year for, it could have been my birthday, he got this really cool kind of rustic-looking map.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And he framed it. And he also Mod Podged it.
Really? I did not know he was the Mod Podger.
He was the Mod Podger.
Wow.
Yep.
That is like, this is a crafty DIY type of deal.
And he glued it to like something, and then he got me these tiny little pins. Like, I think that he YouTubed how to do this. And so I have a map in my front room that's kind of like cool and rustic looking, and it has a bunch of red pins in it.
And they're all the places you've coached?
No, it's all the places that I've
visited,
taught or coached or done education, and
but actually have gone to the country.
What if you just been there because it was like cool?
That's only a few for her because she would do the pleasure with the work. So you would like
I mix business with pleasure.
That's right. So she would show up in Spain for an event, and then Brian would come.
A cruise in the Caribbean, and it went to like St. Thomas.
I didn't count it.
Belize. You wouldn't count it?
I didn't count it. I don't know.
Maybe you use green pins for that.
Ooh, change up the color scheme.
Believe me. Believe me on these.
I am so sorry to all these listeners.
Believe me.
Oh, my gosh. What do you mean you wouldn't count?
I didn't count it as one of my pins because I really did it for like a work thing. But now I'm gonna have to go back and see if I've done Belize because I did do that on a cruise. In fact, we thought we had like international texting, and we went on a family cruise. I think it was a Disney cruise, and one of the stops was Belize. Brian, within like an hour of entering the country, we're on a bus to go do this rafting thing down this really pretty canyon water river thing.
Like a cave type of thing?
Yes, thank you. And he just said, everybody shut off your phones. Just like the most panic.
Because they were on roaming.
Everybody shut off your phones. Because he got these texts like, oh, you have $500 in overcharges. You have $1,000 in overcharges. You have $1,800 in overcharges just like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry, back to Bridget.
Yes.
I will shut up eventually. Yeah. So I did a lot of traveling.
We'll believe it when we see it and hear it.
It'll never happen.
I don't believe it either. So I did a lot of traveling, and I missed a lot of things. And Bridget had a volleyball tournament this past weekend.
Yeah.
And it is so fun for me to truly just be like, I am here from the second we had to leave at like 6 in the morning to get there. And we did not get home until about 6:45 at night. And that was such a treat for me. And I definitely look at it as something that I get to do, something that I choose to do. She could have got a ride with somebody else, but it was such a treat to watch her. And then in between, we would go and get a little snack, and she would kind of like lay down, and I would take care of work. And they took gold.
Ooh la la.
They took gold. So you do all these like preliminary games to see if which bracket you're in, gold, silver, or bronze. And they won first, and it was like I was jumping up, and I was pumping my fist in the air.
Awesome.
And it was
an all-day
really
tournament
fun.
That gets them to the ultimate who wins at the end.
Yes, and so that end game, so they had like maybe 4 games leading up to this one, and then in the tournament they had like 2 games.
That was so awesome. I need to see her play when she's more local, because you drove.
They're never local. They're always like an hour and 10 minutes away, and I know that you would never do that for my kids.
No, stop. I would. That sounds so fun.
I know. You would have had a lot of fun.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
a whole hour.
I know. Heaven forbid.
But then that's
it's
like
hard
a 5-hour
for us to,
commitment.
get past the point of the mountain, which is only 20 minutes, We kind of
you didn't go to Bieber.
Oh, I would have done it for Bieber. I would have gone past the point of the mountain for Bieber any old day. We'd do a lot for Bieber.
We would do anything for Bieber.
I mean, come on now.
Would you?
I would.
Many things. Many.
We would do many things.
No, we would have, but we didn't think they were available to us.
The
we
problem
were a little
is
out of the loop.
We have a lot of love for him, and yet we know nothing about his schedule or his touring or anything like that.
We're one of those where we like a lot of different types of music and
we love from afar.
We love from afar, but we're not so dialed in. We're not the super fans, that know all the things.
They should make this thing like where you can just like type in like a question to just like the universe.
Oh,
yeah.
And then it like answers you that.
Is it
like
Google?
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Like even like a web-based version of that.
Yeah. And
the World Wide Web.
Like, so you're mocking us. You're saying Google basically we could have done such a thing. No.
I'm not making fun of you guys. I'm just saying if that was invented.
Yeah, we might have known.
Could have just like wondered. When's Bieber coming?
So what do I search?
Or known like
events in Utah.
We just like to be connected to people that just say, "Hey, you might want to know this."
Like
and they tell us.
Okay. You could have been that World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Also, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Your daughter went.
True. But it kind of snuck up on me. It snuck up on me, and the night before she goes, tomorrow is the day. I've been waiting 2 years for this, and I was like, that is awesome.
Do you want to know why we've been too busy to know? What? Tell us why.
I'm going to tell you. Here's my that's awesome.
The whole segment.
Well, so and hopefully you guys are so dialed in that you already know this, but Cass and I, we did a little sneak peek pre-launch to our Little Bits of Fitness app. Can you believe it, Paige? We are launching our own fitness app, and this has been several months in the making, and we've kept it a secret because we wanted it to be super exciting and super exclusive for our fans when the time came. But Cass and I kind of explained this on my story today.
So what kind of workouts are there?
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going right now.
But I want you to go there because it was me that told you.
Yeah, right. I would have never been directed without
suggestion, Paige. Yes. Great question, Paige.
Almost like if somebody would have just told you
feed me
to do this app in the first place.
Yes, that's what we're waiting for. You are our feeder of knowledge.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We give all credit to Paige.
Yeah, we know nothing without him.
But we give all credit to Paige for even introducing us to even doing the app.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
If you must know.
Pidge, if you must know, Pigeon has an inside scoop to people who wanted, that ended up reaching out to us to develop this app. So why we developed this app is, number one, Cass and I just believe so wholeheartedly that exercise and movement is a huge part of your overall happiness.
Yep.
And that's everything that we stand for and promote and push and support and believe in is just the little things that you need to do every day that help you live your healthiest and happiest life.
Not to say that I actually love working out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is kind of an interesting thing.
I hate it.
Oh, darn it.
No. What do I
hard.
do?
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, you're going to get the app.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. And the thing about you don't have to like working out, but you have to like feeling happier every day more than not liking to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at. Like the happiness that I get by giving myself the gift of health is way better than the pain of the 30-minute workout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So quit giving excuses.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is coming from a guy that doesn't work out 14 hours a day like you guys.
Yeah. Very good.
No.
Okay.
I'm just assuming that's how long your Zumba classes are.
Yeah, they're 14 hours long.
Got it.
But it's 14 hours of sheer joy.
So sometimes it's easy to be motivated because there's times where I'm like, I really hate how I feel and look in the mirror because I let it go too far. Once I hate that more than I like eating crumble cookies,
yes.
it's very easy to diet and it's very easy to go to the gym.
But you have to get all the way there to crap.
Once I'm kind of in that I feel pretty good, also feel like sleeping an extra 20 minutes, that's where it gets a little tough for me.
Always.
Also, there's a thing when you don't work out a lot that you guys probably wouldn't ever have felt yourself.
Quite got there yet, yeah.
And the listeners are going to be like, preach.
Yeah.
Preach, Pidge.
I get you.
Give me some Pidge perspective.
When you haven't worked out in a long time, and then you go and you work out for, say, 30 minutes, it hurts.
Yeah.
And the next day when you're like, oh, I want to feel better, then
it's hard to push through the pain that you feel now from what you did yesterday.
Correct. And so I think there's a thing that's, like, very misleading to the non-worker outers like myself, where, like, you don't have to do this full workout.
Yes.
You just need to work out enough.
Yeah, just get started.
Because, and that's not, I feel like that's not out there.
Yeah.
So you guys should be the ones that, like, let people know that. Because to me, it's like if I go and do, like, the workout, I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel like that, like, buzz or that energy that you're talking about. I feel pain.
Yeah.
And I feel like I shouldn't have done those lunges because now my quads
I can't even sit down on the toilet.
Yeah.
Well, here's the beautiful thing, and you just really led me into where I was going.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, I know. That's why we just work so beautifully together. That's where I feel we're a little bit different than, like, the typical person that launches an app is like Mrs. Fitness. You typically see Mrs. Fitness, this woman who just is so dialed in, so hardcore with the diet, with the exercise, with the whole thing, that it doesn't make you really feel like it's something that you can even remotely think about diving into. So the app for us is just like, we believe in movement, and it can come in different lengths and different levels, and people do what you do. It's like all or nothing, right? So you're doing nothing, then you finally feel so crappy that you're like, I need to do something, and then you jump in way too far, and then that just kind of sends you backwards. So it's just consistency in small little fragments of time over a week. It becomes easier and easier, but in the app we have 10-minute workouts, 15-minute workouts, 20, 30. So you can add the 30 with the 10 if you're a real go-getter, you know, or you can just do 10 minutes, but we just truly believe in consistency of moving your body. You're going to feel better, but yeah, don't jump in at Mr. Fitness level and then hate yourself and you can't even sit down on the couch the next day. It's just consistency in small little things every single day, you know?
Is it stuff that you can do at home, or do you need, like, a gym?
No. Minimal equipment.
Do you need a baby?
You don't need a baby, but a baby is always a bonus.
You don't have to lift or squat holding a baby.
Yep, you don't. But, I mean, if you feel like you want to take it to the next level, borrow a baby.
So we have a lot of like, if you have, first off, you don't have to use weights.
Yep.
But some of the HIIT workouts are catered toward, like, maybe a 5-pound dumbbell, an 8-pound dumbbell, a 10-pound dumbbell. I'm not really into lifting heavy weights, and I have to do a lot of modifications because of my shoulders. So they are really fun.
They are fun, and they're something you can adjust and adapt easily to where you're at. But we just want to motivate and inspire everyone to get moving at whatever level that you are, and don't feel so overwhelmed that you have to go to the gym for an hour. Because this is the thing, when COVID happened, really was the first time in my life that I even considered at-home workouts, because I was kind of self-motivated, and going to the gym and teaching fitness classes was very much a part of my weekly routine.
Well, and we always loved group exercise by just seeing it with our mom, and then our dad always worked out, so it was kind of like
that was part of
this is what I've been doing since I was 13. I didn't really love it, but this is what I was doing to stay healthy.
Yeah, because we had the example of our parents that working out was important to them, and that kind of bled over to us. But when COVID happened, the gyms closed, our fitness classes stopped, and I was, at that moment, it was like, okay, like, what am I going to do for a workout? Because I had always gone to the gym. So I had to find new ways, and it was just a great, like, a mindset shift that, like, you can find motivation and work out at home, and you can feel just as good without going to the gym for an hour or 2 hours a day for only a 20-minute workout. As long as you're doing it an effective way and being consistent about it, you can be super healthy from your family room, you know?
It's true. And you don't need a bike. You don't need a treadmill.
Yeah.
You don't need a bunch of equipment.
Expensive equipment, you know?
Yeah. And I just think that motivation is kind of like a lie.
Overrated.
I think motivation is a lie.
Yeah.
I think that we're all waiting to get motivated, but you putting one foot in front of the other is the motivation. Like, there's always that moment where you're like, okay, and now I'm going to do it. And the earlier you can get it done in your day, the better, because it will also signal to you that you like do what you say and that you're a goal crusher and that you can do hard things. You can do things that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the benefits always outweigh the torture.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean,
of the things
truthfully.
you guys talked about, I think it was last week, was it was like step 1 to a bunch of steps.
Yes.
I couldn't
We
remember
keep
them all.
small. It's
But
6 max is all we give you guys.
Step 1
Yeah.
was a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like a definite purpose,
Mm-hmm.
which is, let's say, I want to feel like this, or I want to be comfortable, like on the boat this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like summer.
You know, I'm going on this cruise, or I'm like, and like your purpose is that,
Mm-hmm.
then all of like the negative influences that lead you to your purpose matter way less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if you don't have that, then
You kind of have to know why you're in it,
yeah,
right?
so I was talking to a guy, and he was just like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, I want to not be fat. He's like, well, you're already not fat.
Exactly.
That's not going to be the
He's
motivation.
like, so what do you want? And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, I feel like I'm on an island with a volcano erupting, and all I want to do is run away from the island.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I want. I just want to not be here.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's like, that will only last you so long.
Yeah.
He's like, because sooner or later, you're no longer like
Gonna feel that
gonna
fear.
have like the lava,
Yeah, coming at you.
attacking you.
Yeah.
and when that happens, you're just gonna revert back to your old habits,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you can't just like say, I don't want this, I actually want that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so he's like, so come back and talk to me when you've decided what you want, because once you know what you want, then
you can make a
up,
plan.
getting onto this app, doing this HIIT workout,
Yeah.
doing these
Mhm.
things, all those things are easy because what you want is the actual goal.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
so I was
just-
like, it was kind of a cool way
Oh,
that
I
he
love
explained
that.
it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, like that actually applies in like all aspects of life, not just like going to the gym or working out, but it's kind of a cool concept there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
and,
not
go
that you
ahead.
don't want. It's because what you don't want comes from a very much like a scarcity mentality.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going for what you want in life, it comes from much more of like, oh, I can find solutions, I can find options. It's much more of a place of like abundance.
Mm.
And I did a shift a number of years ago that my goal is to be healthy, happy, and thriving.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, like my minimum is I run 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that works for me because I can do 20 minutes. I do intervals. It's really fast. Like some people, their minimum might be 10 minutes. Some people, their minimum might be 55 minutes, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Some might be 6.
Some might be 6.
Seriously.
And you and
Totally.
me, if you want to go on a run, just hit me up.
There
Yeah,
we go.
totally.
It's only going to
6-minute
take 6
run.
minutes, and I think you got time for that.
Hit me up. I'll run for half of it.
And I'll be cheering you on the
And then when
rest.
you
Listen,
finish, it'll be
6
great.
minutes is something to celebrate.
And I will
It
say,
is.
like, Brian does CrossFit workouts,
Mm-hmm.
and those can be, like, it's only 12 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the time,
Mm-mm.
it's what you're doing. But for me, that mental clarity
Mm-hmm.
is so much better. And I can sit there and I can negotiate with myself for an hour in the day. Like, when am I going to work out? Do I want to work out? Should I work out? I definitely should work out. I know I feel
Mhm.
better when I work out. I don't want to work
Mhm.
out, though. I don't feel like working out today. And I can spend 20 minutes to an hour negotiating with myself
Mm-hmm.
and complaining and wondering, or I can just go do the thing and have it off my list.
And here's the thing too, is some people, they might know what it is that they want, but every single person needs to exercise. So the ultimate goal is better health. And everybody can relate
Prove
to
it.
that, you know? And so there's a lot of different things. Of course, I mean, not to mention your mental health, like everybody, it helps your mental health, you know, but it doesn't mean it has to be to wear these pants again. I hope it isn't that, you know,
Yeah.
to wear these pants again, to weigh this certain thing. I mean, I haven't weighed myself in over 5 years. I was just like, once I just decided, like, I know how to take care of my body, and I know what to, you know, feed, what healthy food is, and I know to be consistent with movement and exercise. I do not need to associate that with a number or a pair of jeans or anything like that. And that's a very freeing thing. You know, I
Yep.
think what you want is to be healthy and feel good, you know, and I think everyone can kind of relate to that. It is not easy to get started. It's not easy to be consistent, but everyone will be rewarded. And so I just think you cannot overwhelm yourself, with these unrealistic goals or thinking, okay, if I'm going to work out, then I have to go to the gym for an hour. You don't. You can go running for 6 minutes or walking for 6 minutes. Then your body starts feeding you these great feelings, and you start there's a craving that starts developing, and then you can kind of tack on more time, and eventually it's a habit before you know it.
Ooh, habits are good.
Can you believe it? Habits are great if they're good ones. Exactly.
So good.
Yeah.
I remember one, this is years and years ago, where Brian was like, he just was not in a place where he was feeling good about himself. And he didn't want to go to the pool.
Yeah.
And I was like, babe, I don't care what you look like.
Yeah.
But I will not have you saying no to the things in life because of what you look like. If that's going to get in the way, that's something that you have to fix for yourself. But saying no to life because of
the way you
that
look.
reason, I'm not going to go for that. So you got to figure this one out, pretty soon, because we're supposed to be there by 1:30,
Exactly. So get those shorts on.
Yeah, and
it is weird, like, you care about how you look in a swimsuit or in a whatever.
Nobody else.
Way more than anybody else. Nobody cares.
They're just worried about the way they look. And so no one is tuned into you at all,
Nope.
And I just get so excited and celebrate every shape and size that I see at a pool or boating or whatever, because these people are living life and they're not letting any of those things hold them back, which I think is a great thing to celebrate.
And that will be, we could definitely deep dive into that real deep. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we have little bits of fitness.
Hello.
And we want to help you. This chair is just going wild, you guys.
I feel like this episode kind of turned into
little bits of fitness and health and wellness.
Health and wellness and fitness.
It did.
Should we keep it there?
No. We just have a few little points that we're going to do, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Well, this actually...
Ever take Emily off of what her
Excuse me, I have some notes. Excuse me.
It actually goes perfectly with what we're talking about, because oftentimes, if you were the only one on your boat and there was nobody else out there, would you care what you looked like?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Why do you care what you look like? Because usually it's because you care about what other people care about.
Which is what our topic is today.
Can you believe it?
Snap.
Can you believe it?
Gosh.
So let me read the quote real quick.
It's almost like you planned this.
I know. It's just, I think the heavens are always aligned here at Little Bits of Awesome in the pod box. Okay. So here you go. Everybody take notes. Get your pencil out. Get your paper.
Unless you're driving.
It's a mental note. That works too. Never waste your time trying to explain who you are to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Okay?
Let that
seep in. Never waste your time trying to explain who you are to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. So we are going to give you a few tips into how to stop worrying about what other people think about you. Because guess what? That is very crippling.
Yes,
sure
it is.
It's like the ultimate hold back and suck out of joy and happiness in life is the fear of what other people think. It holds you back, and you waste so much energy doing it. What were you going to say, Cass?
I was going to say, during this tournament, you know how Google will, that wonderful Google? Actually, iPhotos.
Oh,
iPhotos
very different.
will, it'll make you a little album, and it's pictures of.
Yes.
And this one, I think,
is great. It'll remind you of how great of a dad you were 7 years ago.
Yes.
And be like, remember when you used to care?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a little collage of the times you gave to others.
So it did one of those, and it was on the water, and this was the theme of the album, and it had really fun pictures from us, at Bear Lake, at Utah Lake or Deer Creek, or at the pool or whatever. And I started really hard giggling at one of these pictures because
so funny.
It was a nice big group picture, and I just look at Ryan, Emily's husband, and I'm just like, what is happening here? It was
his hairdo was on another
unhinged.
planet. It was wild, and Cass sends this auto message of just her crying to tears, and she's just his hair is going every which way. It's going forward, it's going back, it's going to the side, it's going up, it's going out. It was just the most wild shift in direction hairdo. I mean, Isabel and I, we just like zoomed in and cried to tears.
Well, I sent her a screenshot, and then I zoomed in at another screenshot, and then I zoomed in again at another screenshot. Did Ryan appreciate?
Oh, I showed him, and he's just like, knowing you, like, how did you let me take a picture with my hair like that? You know, like he blames me. He's like, I don't know what it's doing, because I always tell my boys, and I tell my husband too, like when you get out of a pool, you got to shake your hair up because you come out like Dumb and Dumber, you know? And it's bad for everyone, you know? And so the hair's just boom. And I always just teach him from a very young age, shake it up.
But I think that's what he did. He shook it up,
but not aggressively enough. And things were matted and
forward. It was back. It was side.
It was so
It was like
funny.
as if you had a project at school and they said, I'm going to hand you a wig. And I want you to do with this what you can. Yeah. Make it as creative.
Unique as possible.
Make it as unique as possible. And you win $1 million if you can come up with it. Yeah. And that would have been Ryan Ingeman's
it was like
head of hair.
Paste, you know, and there were horns and there were swoops.
Oh, it was
and there was matted. It was crazy.
It was
so anyway, we got a great laugh. So she's going to show you.
Good.
Anyway.
I don't know what to think.
Let me see.
That's not great.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's
got a life of its own. It's got a life of its own.
She cried, and the thing is about Ryan is he's just so good natured. You know, everyone's just laughing, and it's just about him and how he looks in this picture, and all he does is just kind of smile, and then he just looks at me and is like, well, I blame you because you're the one that's supposed to tell me when I need to fix things.
He's such a good sport, and I loved that so wholly.
Oh my gosh.
There's things like that can really make me laugh really hard. I've got a story about Brian that I'll tell in the next episode.
Okay, so back to the topic.
Yep.
So 5 tips, and I love to give little tips, you know, because we don't want to overwhelm people with a long list of to-do things, but just a few little things that you can just kind of make a mental note.
To be more like Ryan and not care what other people think of you or your
That's
hair.
how you live your fullest life.
Later on when he's like,
until people make fun of you, and he's like, hey, I'm just trying to not care.
Yeah, I'm just not
caring.
The
5 tips that you told me, yet people are mocking me.
I'm living them.
Terrible. So let me read this real quick, because I took this from an article that was kind of talking all about this subject. And it says, letting others hold an opinion about you is only acceptable until it starts affecting your confidence and self-esteem. When you hold yourself back because you are afraid to be rejected, you are simply depriving yourself of happiness and self-fulfillment. In order to be happy and contented with your life and to realize your full potential, it is important that you let go of what others think about you.
Yeah,
I think that's just so true, because no matter how much we try to tell ourselves that we don't care, if you are questioning your choice or whatever, it usually is an outside source that's holding you back, you know, because you're right. If you're on an island all by yourself and there's not another person to compare to or ask their opinion or anything, like nothing would matter at all. But we are just so programmed from such a young age as you're trying to like make new friends and you know, you're in little relay races at school and all these different things that actually are kind of creating this
you're being picked for teams.
Yeah.
I was picked dead last on every team that people were picking.
That's terrible. You mean for like kickball on the blacktop and things?
Pretty sure. I hate it. Like you divide into teams.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's pick teams. And I just had this feeling like, ugh.
That's terrible.
And you're just kind of like trying to make eye contact.
Yeah,
with
like
the person
me. What
picking.
about me? What about me?
You want to pick me?
That's terrible.
So
anyway, go with number 1.
Number 1, comparison is the thief of joy.
That's not number 1, but that's a quote right before number 1.
All right.
Which is also true. Comparison is a thief of joy.
Okay, so number 1 is avoid people who keep judging you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's huge. Go for it. What were you going to say?
You have to be very
selective,
willing to protect yourself, and very intentional on who you let in your life. Mm-hmm. And if you're around people who tear you down and make you feel bad or dumb or like you're making a mistake, those aren't the kind of people to be surrounding you. Mm-mm. There's a type of person that does this. And it's not necessarily like if I'm trying to like really like bounce an idea off of you, you can give your opinion in a very like respectful way. And it might not be the opinion I want to hear, right? But when things are done in respect, then it opens it up like, hey, well, this is kind of, these are my thoughts on it. What do you think? And it's done in a very nice, respectable way. That's not what we're talking about here. Like, there are certain people that just tear you down. And unfortunately, those people need friends so bad because it usually comes from a place of, I'm not comfortable with me, and so I want to make sure that nobody else feels comfortable with them. It ignites some sort of like
what's
jealousy or resentment or envy. And so being aware, like, ask yourself after you're with a group of people, do I like how I am when I'm with this group of people? Do I like how I show up? Do I uplift people? I talk to my kids about this a lot. Like, hey, if you don't like when your friends cut you down, make that mental note to not be that friend.
Because I think when you find yourself constantly worrying about what other people think about you, I think, if you look inward and kind of think, well, okay, why am I worrying about this? I think a lot of times you might realize that the people that you surround yourself tend to tear you down anyway, making you second guess your choices, who you are, why you do this, what you're wearing, because they don't make you feel confident. And so then that's just going to kind of bleed over, and you leave whatever kind of environment that you're in, or just overall just making you doubt yourself and worry so much about other people because you're just getting that negative feedback. So I think if you are constantly surrounding yourself with people that uplift you, building your confidence, you worry a whole lot less about what other people think about you because you're just being fed good energy. You know, so I think it's when you're just, I thought Pidge had something. He leaned into the microphone and threw me off. So I just think a lot of times if you surround yourself with those people that just feed you positive energy, you are way less likely to be worried about what people think, because you're thinking, well, people think I'm awesome because that's how they make you feel. Okay, number 2 is realize perfection does not exist. So as we said, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think if you just keep kind of glamorizing perfection, then, and you're looking and you're watching and you're following all these people that you think are so perfect for this, that, and the other, then you're putting like unrealistic expectations on yourself, and you're never feeling accomplished or never feeling like you're good enough because you think perfection exists. And because it doesn't, you're always doubting yourself, and that's just making you worry, like, I'm not good enough. Look at, this person must think this about me because I'm not this, this, and this, because you think that that's the ultimate goal. When in fact that doesn't exist at all. Oftentimes
we're comparing like our worst moments to people's best moments. And everybody is human. Perfection doesn't exist, but you can align yourself to try and improve. And that comes from a place of growth, and that's good for you. Number 3, know what's best for you. So don't go around people pleasing. Nobody knows you better than you.
Okay, well, are you number 3? Okay, sorry, I skipped right along. Okay, so know what's best for you. Okay, perfect.
So this is a great quote. Once you've learned to put your own well-being over others, you'll find yourself reaching a new level of confidence. And I'm sure right now people are like, oh, well, that kind of triggers me feeling selfish if I'm putting my own needs in front of others. But the truth is, like, this morning, like, I wake up at 5:30 to run before I do coaching at 7 because I need to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward to uplift and help others. If I'm feeling terrible about myself, I'm not in that position to do that. And that also like feeds into your relationship with your friends, your spouse, your kids. So you have to take care of yourself first to kind of fill that love bucket. 100%. So that you then can give to others.
Anything to give.
It does not work the other way around.
It's like on the airplane, right, where they're breaking down that video. If you've ever watched it, when you're on an airplane, you know, they give you a little emergency type of breakdown, but most people tune out. Have you ever seen that, Pidge? On an airplane. Can you believe it?
Fly private.
That's right. Well, listen.
You wouldn't know. I think they give this little rundown to private, too. I'm might know.
I'm pretty sure they know.
I've never been on one, I'll admit it.
So anyway, I have a few family members that had a plane at one point or another.
No, she's swanky.
But anyway, you know, it's like you put your own oxygen mask on first before you go trying to save and help anybody else. And
don't put yourself in a position where others have to save you. save yourself first, people. Then you can help others.
Because you will not be able to save them.
Yeah, it's not a selfish thing. I really notice that with work. If I'm burning from both ends of the candle, like I am really, really maxed out and I'm not showing up how I want to as a wife, a friend, a mom.
Not even for
not
a second. Not even for 1 second.
Not even.
Here's a quote. Remind yourself that being your own priority isn't an act of selfishness, but the much needed act of self-love. So we've talked a lot about self-love on here, and it is not selfish, and we've given many examples. You know, you have to take care of yourself first before you have anything to give to others. Number 4, realize you have no control over what others think about. So
about you,
sorry. Realize you have no control over what others think about you. So we're so worried, you know, about what people think, but the truth of the matter is we have no control over that. And half the time they're not thinking what we think they're thinking anyway, and we use so much energy worrying and thinking. And, you know, Steve has given many examples of like when he's teaching a Zumba class and someone makes this face in the back and he's thinking, well, they're hating this class because they're making all these faces. So it's like clear they hate this class. And then come to find out, they're like, I love this song so much. I love this choreography. I want to get it after class or whatever. But the expression on the face looked very different from his perspective. And so, you know,
it's like, and that helps you check yourself when you're like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. I'm disgusted about
you got to watch that facial expression.
And it's like,
what message you're giving.
Yep,
so just, you know, put energy where you actually have control. You're going to be able to grow and progress and be so much happier than worrying about things you cannot control. And that's others' opinions.
That you cannot control.
Yep.
Weather. Traffic. Other people's opinions.
There you go.
That'll save your life.
Weather and traffic.
Do you need me to repeat
that? Did you take
that?
note, Pidge? One more time for Pidge.
You said it before, but say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will. This won't be the last time.
Oh, look at what I've been doing. I've been holding up this forward. In fact, it's this.
Okay.
3 things that you can never control. Weather. Traffic.
True.
Other people's opinions. Or other people in general.
Yeah, you just cannot control them. You have to. You are all you have ultimate control over.
So last night.
Yeah.
My kids are talking, and they're talking about, you know, they're wanting to get good grades and, like, finish up the term or whatever, and they're wanting to get to school on time. And I just asked them, I said,
good kids. Great goals.
Although I get emails and calls from the school every day that
the tardy thing is just...
They're amazing kids. They're just tardy.
Yeah.
I said, so how will you know if you're going to get good grades? And they said, well, we have to put the work in. And like there's like a test I'm going to take after school, and there's like a paper I need to turn in. And I said, okay, perfect. And how will you know if you're going to be to school on time? And they both just look at me like, yeah, that's on us too, huh? Yeah, like I can't force you to get to school on time.
Well, it's like kind of, it goes back to Pigeon's point where it's like, well, I don't want to feel this way, but how are you, what are you going to do
What are you doing to get out of this place?
Yeah.
I don't think that they care that they're late. I think that I care, and I also care that they don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't care, but there is a consequence, ultimately, isn't there?
Well, I guess at their school there's not. So
well, then why is anybody caring?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to show them, like, show up on time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
annoying for your
It's a life lesson you need to know.
Yeah, it's annoying for your teacher to have students come in late. Like, just be respectful, show up on time.
Yeah, plain and simple.
I mean, plain and simple. Okay, number 5.
Number 5. Go for it.
Be careful whose opinions really matter in your life. Now, this has been so key for me. I remember when I first was putting myself out there on social media and in like my career in the fitness industry and with Zumba, people had a lot of opinions.
Oh, yeah.
They had a lot of opinions about everything that I was doing wrong and how I was going to ruin my marriage, how I was going to ruin my relationships, how that wasn't good for me, how traveling as a working mom is terrible for family dynamics. And there was just a lot of opinions coming my way from all kinds of people. People I knew, people I loved, from strangers. And whenever
people love to give advice.
They really do. And whenever I would kind of like bring this to Brian, like, I'm really struggling with this, he'd say, why do you care? All that matters is you and me. And we're good. If we're good, then everything else is good. And that always wasn't enough. So then I would go to my sister, Emily. And there was a couple times where I was like, help me understand if I am not seeing something clearly here. Because like out of nowhere, I would have like, 2 or 3 comments or something happen. And it really made me doubt myself.
In denial here. Yeah.
Help me understand. You're somebody who can tell it to me straight. Am I missing something? And you would always say, no, you're flawless.
Always, yep. Well, this is the thing. I think it goes back to number 1, where it's like, who you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with a great, upbeat, positive, supportive crowd, then I think it's a safer space to open things up, your experiences, the things that you're going through, for some feedback and some opinion. But ultimately, you are the only one that's going to deal with the consequences. Yep. Either it's going to go real great, or you're going to learn from that choice that maybe wasn't ultimately the best choice. But you have to live with yourself in the choices that you make. So I think, number 1, be real careful with the crowd that you keep anyway. And then number 2, next level, is be careful with the things that you share with them, and even asking for their advice, because you have to be confident with the choice that you make, because you're the only one that has to live with the consequence.
Remember years ago, we met that girl and she was like, I never value the opinion of somebody's life I do not want to emulate.
Okay, say it again.
I knew it.
Yeah. Never give
I never
power.
listen to the advice of somebody whose life I do not want to emulate.
Exactly.
Like, if that's not the person whose life is like, oh, I love that they do that. I love how they do that. That's a really cool thing with their career. I wonder how they like what stepping stones they
why on earth would you be asking them? Yeah.
You just let it roll off like water off a duck's back.
But also on top of that, though, even if you like the life that they're living, everyone's life is different. Everyone's experience is different. So they're going to give you their best advice from their perspective of how that might best work out for them.
Yeah.
But in the end, it may not be the ultimate right guidance for you. And so you really have to learn to look inward to yourself. And all of these steps that we've been talking about to ultimately get over worrying about what other people think, is you look inward. And you have to be happy with yourself and your choices.
And nobody knows you better than you. So if you know what's right for you, why is anybody else's opinion in that equation? That is how you gain confidence, is by taking action on things that you know are right for you. Because everybody has that inner voice. Everybody has that inner compass guiding them, saying, hey, you should go for that. You definitely, that calls to you. Go for that opportunity, or push yourself in this place, or maybe you need to change a couple things about yourself, right? So,
and the more often you do that, the more confidence you build in yourself, because you kind of see,
you trust yourself.
That wasn't a total train wreck, Did it go, take some turns that maybe you might have wanted to avoid? Maybe it did, but you learned from the experience. But, you will lose less and less confidence in yourself the more that you are looking outward in all of these areas. You have to try to look inward, because your experience in your life is unique to you.
Yeah, you will lose confidence by trying to gain approval from the outside world, rather than turning in and saying, what is my real heart's desire?
Oh, we need to know the heart's desire.
Tell me the heart's desire.
True? Pidge?
True that.
True.
Amen to that. Okay, real quick, just to refresh, Cass, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Number 1 is avoid people who keep judging you. Number 2, realize perfection doesn't exist. Number 3, know what's best for you. Number 4, realize you have no control over what others think about you. And number 5, be careful whose opinions really matter in your life.
Those are great. Those are powerful,
So let's do
gems.
Little gems. We are dropping little gems. Those are 5 for you there. Gather them up. And little bits make lots.
Little bits
gather all those gems.
Lots.
You know what I'm saying.
And what we are also working very hard on.
We look at Pidge. What?
Is we are going to. We want to make a really cool group.
Yeah, we do.
We're not sure what we're not sure what we're going to call it. We're not sure all the things that we're going to be giving, but we want to be, for you guys who are like true blue, little bits of awesome fans, we want to have a private group of sorts that we are working on, that's going to give you guys like exclusive content, exclusive videos, bonuses, early releases, and we'll be announcing that very soon.
Very soon. Can you give them a quick little breakdown of how to subscribe to the podcast so that people are really dialed in?
So if you have not subscribed yet and you're thinking, I'd really love to subscribe.
Like, why am I not getting notified when the newest podcast drops?
Yes.
This is why.
When you go to your podcast app, on the up-hand corner,
when after you search Little Bits of Awesome,
you're going to search Little Bits of Awesome. You're going to see our picture. If it doesn't have our picture on it, it's not us.
Nope.
That's true.
You will recognize us there.
That.
Yep.
And on the upper right-hand corner, there's something that says add.
Or is it just 3 dots?
I think this one is just add on like the Apple one.
Is it?
On the iTunes, it says add. That means that you are adding our podcast to your library. So it's almost like you're taking it and you're putting it into a section that now you will get notified whenever there are new episodes dropping. Now, there's also, I think, on the upper hand right corner, a ... And that means, I'd like to learn more. And I think that has things like copy link and share. And these are great ways for you to spread this awesomeness to other people. So you can send it via like text, maybe WhatsApp, maybe an email, Instagram. And also within that, if you are in our podcast and you're just kind of doing the scroll thing with your finger, at the bottom, you're going to see 5 stars. We like 5 stars that
if those
get lit up.
If those 5 stars are empty,
that means
it's time to color them in.
Today's
the day.
We would love for you to give us 5 stars. And also you can give a little review of what are your favorite things about this podcast so that we can always make sure that we're doing more of that.
And I would go one step further to challenge every listener today to go to the 3 dots, copy the link, and share it with a friend. That would be so awesome because this kind of takes our podcast to the next level so that people know that it's being listened to, and it'll kind of get us in like the For You page in a sense in the podcast network and feed it to other listeners that might be on the podcast thing but don't know we exist, you know. So the more traffic that is happening with our podcast, the more awareness that it will be.
And then we can continue to get cool sponsors so that we can continue to give this podcast to you for free.
Full free.
We like free. Hella Nutrition is just above and beyond deliciousness when you are looking for nutrition products. Why? I want to go right here.
I know it.
That's on.
I know. Hey.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
This is the one that's on.
You're kidding.
He does it.
Sorry for the distraction, but we don't know where to look when it comes to. There's cameras everywhere.
We don't know.
Back to Hella, because it is hella good.
It is hella good. So this is their pre-workout. What I love about this pre-workout is that it's very delicious. It does not give you that like ultra jittery, crazy amount of energy, but it does give you energy. It's got 200 milligrams of natural caffeine, which is a green coffee bean and green tea base. It does give you focus, which is really what I need in my life.
We need help with the brain focus.
And it also does give you pump and endurance. So you can always start with like a half a scoop and see how your body reacts to it.
So you're saying maybe take a half a scoop of this, hop onto that app.
I was just going to go there. I was just going to go that because Pidge was talking about, going all in and then being so sore and hating life. Have some of Hella's BCAAs. That is what it does. It helps muscle recovery. So you're not going to feel so hideous after your workout because you are feeding the muscles that nutrients and that all the things to replenish those muscles.
It breaks down the lactic acid in your body to repair
so that you don't have those ultra sores.
That's what like creatine did.
No, creatine's all about the bulk. This is about the repair. BCAAs is all about repairing the muscles. So Peach Party, so delicious. Drinking it now. Drink it every day.
I do too. Because, it's also a great way that that's something that we could really talk about is like easy ways to get your mindset into a healthy place, to work out, to treat your body good. Like I wake up and I fill this up with those BCAAs, which ensures that I'm going to drink a lot.
Yeah. And these are little reminders that you're killing the day.
Yep.
I'm drinking my BCAAs. I'm putting a little pre-workout in my body because I'm for sure going to go to Little Bits of Fitness and work out, you know. So these little things, and you're drinking more water, which I always think is a bonus. Like sometimes you're going to go to the gas station and get some hideous little tiny thing that you're going to drink down. That's
not going to hydrate you.
That's not going to hydrate you. This, hella, you add it to your water, and it's going to hydrate you plus all the other benefits. So it's a win-win deal.
Yep. So we want to do just, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Our little bits of awesome at the end. You guys are blowing our mind with feedback from the podcast, and we want to thank you so much. And we want to read a little bit of feedback from one of you guys.
We asked you last week to please share a little bit of your little bits of awesome with us, and so we are gathering. They did it. I got a few, if you can believe it.
That's right.
So here's one. It says, "Hey, here is a little bit of awesome. I woke up in the middle of the night with a panic attack. I have a panic disorder. I put on Little Bits of Awesome, and it was able to take my mind off of it and put me back to sleep. Not to mention that you guys ended up in my dream, and we all went to an amusement park, and that was a blast." So anyway, I just thought that was amazing that somebody would, in a moment, you know, of like panic and just not feeling their best, that they would tune into Little Bits of Awesome to just kind of take them back to a happy place.
Yeah.
So that definitely is a little bit of awesome in our mind, and we appreciate the share. So.
Yep. So have a great day. Be awesome. You are awesome.
Yeah, you are.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.